A few months ago, my SPS looked nothing like this. And honestly, my tank wasn't nearly this stable. I didn't completely overhaul the tank, but I did change a few key things, and I made a huge difference. My parameters weren't terrible before, but they weren't consistent. And with SPS, that's usually the difference between surviving and actually thriving. Looking back at some of these older clips makes me realize just how much we've gone through and how much the tank has grown. It's really easy to not see changes, but if you step back and look back at pictures or old videos, you will be amazed by how much your tank has grown and changed. The biggest change I made was how I dose. I've been using All For Reef, but instead of dosing it all at once, I started splitting it into 4 to 5 microdoses throughout the day. And I do this by using this automatic doser. I started using this to provide more stability, because what I used to do was dumping some All For Reef at the beginning of the day and a little bit at the end of the day. And you know, this kind of stabilizes the parameters because it's receiving a smaller amount but over a longer period throughout the day. And I have noticed that this has kept my alkalinity at a more optimal range. So instead of one big swing, the tank is getting a steady supply all day long. The other thing I started doing was mixing my own All For Reef. I used to just buy the liquid container, and I just found this to be more economical because you can do much more of the mix if you buy the dry powder for the same amount of money than if you were to just buy it already liquid. But yeah, this little machine is basically running on a timer outlet, and I basically can control it from my phone, and I have it set to do 5 doses throughout the day, and that's helped me so much at keeping my alkalinity. I have to say that almost immediately after starting a automatic dosing regimen, I started noticing better polyp extension on my SPS. I don't know if you can tell, but that guy is really happy. This Oregon Tort in the middle is also showing some pretty good extension, and it used to not like my tank. But now if you look at most of my SPS, you can see some good polyps, you can see growth. The next thing I realized was that my water changes were actually working against me. I was using tropic marine salt, which mixes around 6.8 to 7 DKH, but my tank sits closer to the mid-8, so every water change was slightly dropping my alkalinity. I ended up switching to Red Sea Blue Bucket, and I think that it mixes way closer to where my tank already is, and that alone made things way more stable. Around the same time, I also started to see more coralline algae, which usually means things are trending in the right direction. Doing these two things have actually helped my alkalinity stability gotten to the point where we are today, and it honestly sits around 8.5, 8.6 throughout most of the day. This has been the most stable my tank has ever been, and I think that due to that, these are the prettiest my coral have ever looked. For nutrients, I didn't add anything crazy. I just cleaned up what I was already doing. I started pre-rinsing my frozen food, and I cut back a bit on the feeding of pellet. Now, what I do when my frozen food is I pre-rinse it in some salt water beforehand, and then I transfer it with a micron filter to a little spoon before I go ahead and feed the gang. I have noticed that my nutrients have stabilized as well. That alone made a noticeable difference. Before, I'd get algae building up on my pumps pretty quickly, and now they stay way cleaner for longer. I still clean them once every couple months, but I have noticed a noticeable difference with both my nitrates and my phosphates. At the same time, my chaetos started growing faster, which tells me the system is exporting nutrients more efficiently. I find myself harvesting the chaetomorpha way more often than I used to. And all of these changes starting adding up. Better polyp extension, better coloration, and overall the tank just feels more stable. None of these changes were huge on their own, but together they made a big difference. And because things are more stable now, I've been way more confident adding SPS. I recently picked up some new acros. There's that good looking Oregon Tort, and the teal blue tips acropora, I think it's called, bonsai acropora, frog skin. I am terrible with some of these names, but what I do know is that all the acros are doing way better than they used to be. I have some golden rods that are also starting to take off, and of course we have a TNT on this side, as well as my amazing hammer garden that's just doing really well. It is quite amazing how some of these coral really pop once you dial in some of these parameters. That's my little skull experiment, Typhastria skull, and man, I just love that thing. I love encrusters. I love how they do that. I guess this kind of turned into a bit of an update on the tank, but the tank is just really vibing right now. Check out these leathers too. I recently got this yellow Fiji, I think it's called, Devil's Hand. I got some of these by trading with some people on Facebook, and this one came from a good friend who gave me a little piece that has really grown. That's actually the second one, second little piece that grew. I just chopped the other one off because I'm gonna make some more frags. This one is a Tiger Nix torch. Yeah man, they're just doing great. And that's about it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please go ahead and comment down below. If you like the video, please like it, and go ahead and subscribe if this is the kind of stuff you like. I like to post short once a day, and trying to get a video out at least once a month.